Hello, everybody. Welcome to our watch-along for USC versus Michigan. USC is hosting the number 15 Michigan Wolverines, and there is an extremely distracting commercial on the TV right now, and I don't understand what's going on. Hi. It has been an interesting day of college football so far. Some interesting results that we can go over because they are pertinent. Oregon lost to Indiana. Indiana went into Autzen and beat Oregon, which proves that Oregon can be beaten at Autzen. And there will be some ranting about that going on over the next either day or podcasts that come up. Texas beat Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry, and Notre Dame beat NC State, so it will not be a perfect day no matter what happens in this game today. And UCLA kicked the crap out of Michigan State. So, UCLA is starting to look like a team that maybe USC can't overlook at the end of the season. Certainly offensively, Jerry Neuheisel has them doing something different now. So we're looking at kickoff right now. They're all lined up to go. As a reminder for everyone new in the chat, I am on Fubo. Fubo has an enormous delay. YouTube streaming also has a significant delay, which means that I will be way far behind most of you guys. Is that King Miller returning the kick? All right, buddy. So yes, I am delayed. Yes, that is less than ideal. Yes, that does also cause the problem of if people are talking about things that are happening in the chat, then chances are you will be spoiling it for me. Worst of all, you will be potentially spoiling it for other people who are also on a delay. So what I ask of everyone watching is do not talk or reveal about what is going on in the game until you have seen me react to it. That means that we're probably further enough along that it won't be spoiling anybody's day. Let's everyone have a good time watching this game, at least as much of a good time as we can have. Jaden Mayava has the ball at the 25 right now. Here's the first snap. It's a handoff to somebody. Waymond, I assume. So I saw that Elijah Page is not playing. I haven't seen the full offensive line. It looks like we're about to get the starting lineup. Jacoby Lane is starting, so that's a plus. Lake McCreag has got his big blocky glasses. So it's John Reed at center, Justin Taunu at left tackle, and Tobias Raymond at right guard. So unfortunately, no Elijah Page in this game. USC will have to survive without him. 24 seconds on the play clock. Here comes Mayava again. One of those little screens that I love that works so well for USC, and it looks like USC is going to be in a 3rd and 1. MB asks, can we make lots of fun of Oregon? I mean, yeah, we can make fun of Oregon, but also, let's acknowledge Indiana's legit. Indiana is legit, and I am low-key salty about it because Indiana's success, laughs in the face of everything USC hasn't been able to do so far under Lincoln Riley. And that's where I will be ranting. You will certainly hear me rant about this. There's 16 on the play clock, 3rd and 1 for USC. Big down. They've got Walker Lyons in the backfield. Handoff, Waymond. He gets it. And see, that's the nice thing. Even against a good defensive line like Michigan has, I do believe USC is capable of, finding some running room, getting some push. Nice little push from Micah Benuelos moving a guy off his spot. Alani Noah getting guys down off their spot. So, I think that USC should be able to run the ball, should try to run the ball, should feel confident in running the ball. And let's see what USC can put together in this game. I think it will really come down to Mayava playing well and USC being able to run the ball. I don't even want to talk about the defense. Here's Mayava, another little wide receiver screen. There's Makai Lemon. Nice. I do think USC is going to lean on these screens in this game in anticipation of Michigan wanting to be aggressive and get into the backfield. And these screens are definitely a way to soften that up. And USC runs them very well, which is another plus. It would be one thing if you're bad at running screens and you're forced to run screens, but I think USC is very good at it. Quick over. There's our tight end, Walker Lyons. Jaden Mayava might be my favorite quarterback at USC in a long time simply because he loves this route to the tight end over the middle, find a little spot in the defense and goes up high to get it. That is exactly how I love to use a tight end. Hand off to Wayman Jordan. See, USC is moving the ball so easily. This is the frustrating damn thing about this team is like this offense is really good, even against a good defense. I don't know this offense is going to put up 40 points on this defense, but this offense can score and they can move the ball. And, I think it takes a special defense to truly shut them down. And it's so frustrating because if USC had even a slightly reliable defense, this team would be really formidable. So 2nd and 5, 14 on the play clock. Here's a handoff to Waymo. And again, plenty of... Oh, no, it's King Miller already? Where's Eli Sanders? Did I miss something about Eli Sanders?
He's there. He's right there.
Oh, interesting. Well, I'm not complaining because I think King Miller has more than earned some real-life snaps. No, I just opened Twitter and Drew Aller's out for the rest of the season, so Penn State is... yeesh. And I think Bo Pribula is having a good time too. He's having a good game, good season. Here's another... Oh, keeper, Mayava, down to Eli Sanders. Just everything's working. Now, we do see USC on the first drive of the game tend to have things working, but again, the misdirection, the fake outs, putting defenders in conflict. That's what Michael is always talking about, and I think this is a perfect drive showing that. You fake the hand, you have the running back, fake the handoff, freeze the defender in the backfield. Mayaba rolls out. He has the choice. Can he run or does he need to dump it off to his receiver? That freezes another defender, dumps it off to the running back, and boom. Another quick 10 yards. Here's Mayava again. Handoff to Waymo. A few yards. I will be trying to announce what the play clock is at to try and give you guys a sense of where I'm at in the game. So if you hear me saying that, like that the play clock is at a certain thing, that's what I'm trying to do. I'll try also to mention the down and distance if I can. If USC's been moving a little quickly here, so it's a little hard. 19 on the play clock. USC's at the 2, 2nd and goal. Here, it's a wildcat to Waymo. Just felt a little slow. USC didn't really get any push up the middle. He didn't really have anywhere to go. Yeah, I don't know. Jaden Mayava is playing so well at this point. I actually wouldn't. I'm not a huge fan of the Wildcat in that situation. Obviously, what works will be the thing I'm most fan of, but it's 3rd and goal. 16 on the play clock. Mayava's back in there. Now you're putting it all on this one play. Here is Mayava to easy money, Jacoby Lane. Easy money, Jacoby Lane, touchdown USC. That was absurdly easy against a defense that is a quality defense in college football this year. And I think that's legal. I think he's legal to do that little push, and then there he goes. I mean, picture perfect. Pretty much everything. The only thing that didn't work there was the Wildcat, and then I think maybe one run that got just a couple of yards. But yeah, that was outstanding. Okay, here we go. I mean, if USC can, work some work on defense, work some magic on defense, prove that they can get a stop or two, then I think USC's really in this game. And I will repeat that this is something that Vegas has USC as the favorite in this game for a reason. Oh no. Irvine Cattle Ranch with the super chat.
Touchdown Trojans.
I think I've recovered. Yeah, I got to do it. Touchdown Trojans. I've got
Touchdown Trojans.
I've got the my good old White Russian today. I have some Coke, so I could make it a Colorado Bulldog at some point, but I'm kind of liking the White Russian as is right now, so we'll stick with that. So yeah, that was a really good start. For all my complaints about Lincoln Riley, like, he is an incredible quarterback coach and an incredible offensive coordinator. Like, I know people complain about him as a play caller, but in reality, if you just consider play callers around the country, very, very, very few of them are as good as Lincoln Riley at getting their offense to put up points. So, I am on the clock at the moment. I am, unfortunately, because the baseball, the MLB playoffs are going on right now. The Cubs and Brewers are about to start in probably 30 minutes, 25 minutes or so. It's going to be a weird evening for me. So I will be having to keep a closer eye on what's going on around college football elsewhere, more so than in previous games where I had a little bit more coverage. But there's just too much going on around sports tonight, so we only have so much coverage, and we're going to do what we can do. So let's see this replay of the touchdown. Oh, their complaint. So they are saying it wasn't illegal, him doing that push off as far down. Yeah. Big Ten refs are going to Big Ten ref. I mean, like, this is the thing. Refs are going to ref. I would not have been surprised to see that flag thrown. I am also not at all surprised that they didn't call it, because they just choose not to call things sometimes and then choose to call things other times.
I think it's helpful that the contact wasn't at the side of the catch.
Yeah.
It wasn't impeding.
It was sort of at the...
It was before. It would be like, if that was pass interference, it would have been a holding call.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. All right. There are... Mr. Badger wants to come look at the game, huh? Yeah, hi. 30 seconds on the play clock. Michigan's coming out with Bryce Underwood. We'll see. I mean, this is the bit where I start to stress. This is the part where I stress the defense is on the field. They are not running with the 3 linebacker set, or are they? Yes, they are. All right, good coverage by Nicholson, not Nichols. I've been watching Silo, so I've got Nichols in my head. It did look like they are running with the 3 linebacker set with Gentry in the slot, which I like. I believe it'll be Jaden Walker in there next to Desmond Stevens. We'll see how he does as far as being a run defender. It's a big moment for him. I believe it's his first start, unless things got funky. 2nd and 10, 12, 11 on play clock. Not getting any pressure. Good coverage on the little swing pass. Okay. Let's see. Okay, 15 on the play clock, 3rd and 8. Big third down for USC. You need to get off the field. Need to get off the field in this game. Confusion on the defense. I don't like that. There we go. Errant throw. Not necessarily something USC did, but this is why when you're playing a team with a true freshman quarterback, this is why you can have an edge in this game. You have a quarterback who doesn't always have his P's and Q's in order, will occasionally slip things up. And I hope that USC is able to continue to take advantage of when he makes a mistake like that, because realistically, coming across the country, if you're Michigan to play USC, the reason that teams lose road games, here's the punt. The reason that teams lose road games is because they make a lot of mistakes on the road, because they're sort of all out of kilter. And a team like USC at home, you win these games by taking advantage of the other team's mistakes and not making mistakes of your own. And that's what USC needs to do here. Big drive here, because if you can go up 14-0, obviously you want to be up 14-0 at any point that you can. Joe says, am I the only one nervous when Makai's returning punts? I'm not necessarily nervous, because I think that like Makai is so good in the open field. Like I think he is the right one to have back there. But yeah, sorry, we're having a dog situation, so I'm a little bit distracted. Are you trying to lick my White Russian there, buddy? Are you? Yeah, Mr. Badger. All right. I'm trying to pull up the Cubs game, or at least preemptively pull up the Cubs game. Sorry. Jessie might have eaten something she wasn't supposed to earlier, and so we're just keeping an eye on her right now. Not an entire block of hot chocolate like she did last Christmas, but something that hopefully a little bit less scary. We will see. LBC says a Blanca Ruski. What's that? This Jaden, these like Hawaii. My God, this Mackay Lemon one is bad. Beach Boys. Ay. All right, big drive for USC. 19 on the play clock. First and 10 from the 29. Easy. There's a nice little slant. Jacoby's working. Easy 9 yards. Blanca Ruski is White Russian and Portuguese. I can only imagine what that sounds like in a Portuguese accent, which I cannot do. So yeah. Callie Cat says we missed the last game. It seems like it was a good thing. Well, it certainly wasn't a bad thing. Yeah, that was an experience last week. Yeah, I don't want this week to turn into last week. Let's just say that. All right. USC's handing it off. Gets a yard, converts the first down. That's fine. I mean, so far this is looking good. USC is getting just enough push. Third down, did you not get it? The band's playing, so I think the broadcast is wrong. Oh, I did the thing again where I forgot to send the tweet. Here's another third. So he didn't get the first down. Well, I think he's short there too, but that second down spot looked so bad, unless I missed it. All right, it sounds like USC's going for this, but I thought he got it on second down. I'd like to see a replay. Also, that's a bad spot. I don't think he got it, but I think that's a bad spot. I think the spot before that was bad. I mean, it's not at the 39-yard line, but they have the ball spotted at the 40. No, I meant the 40, at the 38. He's like inches short, not a yard short. I would like to see the play before. I would like to see the play before because we only got one look at it. I'm just confused. USC's band was playing Fight On, so USC's band thought that he had... Looks like they're going for it. Is his headset not working? Are they going to do like a little pooch? Is that Riley getting cold feet on or... Yeah, I don't... This whole sequence has been weird. I still want to see a replay of that first. Of the second down play. I don't think we're going to get one, but... See you later, Mark. Mark's gonna be back. I'm on the Rinvoke commercial as well, Joe. The bikers are biking. We all need intestinal lining repair after watching USC. I'm on Peloton as well. But wait, Peloton Bank? So it's a US bank commercial. This is the power of us. One of the things, just as a random aside here, one of the things that's like slightly annoying about living the way that I live, in the sense of like, I'm very media savvy. I went to journalism school and took like PR classes, and I've always been really interested in how things work and why things work, and you know what like the reason behind anything, all of that kind of stuff. I'm just fascinated by it. And so I watch media and other things like through the lens of somebody who maybe knows a little bit too much of how the sausage gets made. So like I'm also on the Genesis. I love that we're just telling each other what what commercials we're on. But like some of these things, like I wonder to myself, like, what was the meeting like where they came up with Rinvoq as the name for this like intestinal lining treatment? Like, what was the what was the thought process behind the Genesis spider light bulb thing? Like, where did that idea come from, and how did it develop into the commercial we just saw? It's it's just like, I hate not knowing, because I just sometimes I would just love to know. All right, it's 21 on the play clock, 4th and 1. USC is going for this, allegedly. And nope, they're doing a hard count. And it's, oh, Waymo! Oh my gosh, oh! Oh my gosh, okay. Oh. Oh, thank God for Wayman Jordan, guys. Thank God, because this, I don't know how this play worked. That little sidestep, and then just staying, whew. God, Waymo, I love you. This is why we forgive him for fumbling. 15 on the play clock. Here's McCree out. Yeah, I thought we were doing a little screen. Works. Jacoby looks good. Looks comfortable.
3 catches already.
Spanky says shouldn't have worked at all. Yeah, that's got to be so frustrating for the for the defense, because yeah, they had that bottled up right there in the backfield, and then should have had it bottled up again as he bounced out, and then could have had bottled up again as he tried to hit the edge. Like, that's all Waymo. 2nd and 2, 15 on the play clock. USC's at the 43. Yeah, 43. Mayava wide open. Mackay. It's just roll. Come on, USC, keep going. I mean, this is okay. We talk about like this is where USC effectively was, maybe not the same score, but like effectively what USC was doing when Wayman Jordan fumbled against Illinois. And this goes back to like when things happen in a game matters. Like, even if you don't believe in momentum, like one of the principles of momentum is just like things happening in the moment that they do. And 15 on the play clock, USC is at the 32. Here's a handoff and a couple yards for King Miller. Being able to score in the moment that will be most demoralizing to your opponent is an incredibly valuable skill, one that I don't think USC has learned yet. And I think that, this is a really good opportunity for USC, because you go up 14-0 on a team that has traveled across the country, on a team that knows that their offense isn't, prolific at this stage. This is a potentially more demoralizing moment if USC can go ahead and cap it. Keep going the way they've been going and cap this drive. You got to cap this drive with a touchdown or a score of some variety. Mayava's going long. Ooh, just a little off. Not a terrible attempt. I mean, he's got the step. Just has to slow it a little bit too much. Might have been too far outside either way. No, he was there. It was a little tug, but I'm not going to exactly argue about it, because what USC got away with on the previous touchdown. 3rd and 7. 17 on the play clock. I wonder if this is 4 down. If they're not going to run here, they don't put the guy out. So another little screen, and there's the tight end. McCree. Oh, what was I just saying? I'm just saying. Jesus. Literally carbon copy. Exactly what I was talking about. USC is driving. It is easy. They are tearing this Michigan defense apart. They are just a few plays away from inevitably making it 14-0. And then a fumble. Yeah. Yeah, that's MG's Raider says tight end didn't secure the ball. Yeah, I mean, I like McCree. I'm not gonna pretend that I don't, but that's such a huge hit. Like, that's rough because I'm not actually sure that was like bad ball security. Was he holding the ball out, Irvine? Irvine says he was holding the ball out. I thought he had it tucked, but they I could be wrong. I didn't really. I just saw the hit. The hit was a big one. Okay. Okay. How's it going?
She's just sitting in the corner of the. It's been 30. She's just sitting in the corner of the thing. She's adjusted a couple times. I thought she was gonna go, but no.
Okay. JY says we're gonna be okay. At least you breathe. Yeah. Here's the thing. I think the offense has proven they can move this ball. They can move the ball. They can get things going. It's just really frustrating because we continue to see these exact moments that like are becoming so predictable. I see this. I don't know if he's reaching the ball out. I think he's just falling and just gets popped. He just got popped. You know. Fight on Natties. Isn't this USC's third or fourth fumble in the first quarter?
Yeah, third fumble all in the first quarter. First 6 games.
Yeah. Not.
They've given up a touchdown the ensuing drive every time. The first 2.
Well, let's see if USC can flip the script here. Here's a handoff. See, and Michigan's going to do the thing that they should have been doing early on is just run it down USC's throat until USC proves they can stop you. Like, I don't know why you would do anything other than that at this point. It's just the game. It's just the game plan. Like it's really that simple. They get an Underwood out on the run. Yeah, Alberto says it was a blindside hit directly on the elbow. Yeah, and like I think the only complaint you could really have is like him not having two hands on the ball. But in that case, I think he was shrugging off a defender and sort of falling as he was sort of falling in the direction of the hit. So it just feels like a perfect storm. But perfect storms. There's a screen. Now Michigan's moving. Now they're getting confidence. See, and this is exactly why I highlighted that as you go from a team that you might demoralize completely to a team that suddenly has new life and new vibe, and the offense starts to move, and then you've just completely opened things up for them. All right, that's a short gain. Looked like Jaden Walker was in on that. LBC Robbie says, no fumble is acceptable. Ask any running back coach. Yeah, that's totally fair. I think that's a totally fair perspective. I think some fumbles are more egregious than others, but yeah, you should never fumble. 15 on the play clock. USC still not winning their battles on the outside and not getting pressure. Okay. All right. Kamari Ramsey is out there with Bishop Fitzgerald, and I think Christian Pierce is out there. That's Jakeem Stewart in there. All right. Looks like a timeout. All right. I've got to pull up. This is what I was doing earlier that I forgot. I have got to pull up the Cubs game. And then hope that my internet stays good. Where is it? Okay, I'm also going to reload this at the risk of having it slow down. Okay. All right, Texas A&M is up by 7 on Florida. Texas Tech is beating down Kansas. Auburn is up 7 on Georgia and has the ball back. LSU is up 3-0 on South Carolina and has the ball. BYU and Arizona are 0-0, and then Arizona State, Utah is coming up later. I wish I didn't feel like I don't want to go to the here we go again. I don't want to do it. I don't. But like, these are all the reasons why I get nervous. These are all the reasons why, you know, things, it just starts to feel like, here we go again. Of course, if it's just like last game, then we can trust Michigan to have some inexplicable, like, goal line fumbles. So, you know. Michael? All right. Back from timeout. This is a big one. The Mr. Matt has a bad feeling about this game. Max says 7-8 is the ceiling. Brian says, I don't see USC winning 10 games this season. Well, yeah. If you lose this game now, you need to beat both Notre Dame and Oregon to get to 10 wins. That's all right. 2nd and 6. Michigan is at the 42. Cheerleaders are on the field. Yikes. Evan says Eli Sanders on the cart to the locker room with a towel over his head. Well, that I don't like to hear. That I do not like to hear at all. That sucks. Second and 6 from the 42. 16 on the play clock. Here's the snap. Oh, jeez. Bounced the outside and whatever corner. I'm going to guess that. No, it was a Nicholson. Whoever was out there just got completely wiped out of the play. Yeah, Fitzgerald. And that basically takes out Kamari as well. Ugh. Okay. $16 on the play clock. There's a stop in the backfield. Who's that? Of course it's Jakeem Stewart. Of course it's Thanos. I swear to God, I don't think I've seen a player when he gets into the backfield, I don't think I've seen anyone get into the backfield quite as quickly as Jakeem Stewart manages to when he does. Like, it's got to be such an experience to be that running back and just go like, oh, hello, I'm going down. 2nd and 14. It's a big negative play. USC needs negative plays to force Michigan to throw the ball. See, even with a bobble, he gets more than enough to set up a 3rd and manageable. That's annoying. Max says, when did Eli get hurt? Well, we only saw him on that one little dump out, I think. And I don't think we saw him after that, so must have been there. 3rd and 4. If you can, at this point, if you hold him to a field goal after that turnover, you have made a massive improvement from where you were last week. But false start. Well, again, there you go. There you go with, again, Michigan making mistakes. Take advantage of their mistakes. They put themselves in 3rd and long. Now get a 3rd and long stop. That's Floyd Bakar, I think, down there. 3rd and 9. 16 on the play clock. There's a blitz from Bishop. Get him down. Yes! Oop, I knocked my thing out. That is the play you needed on 3rd and 9. That might even put them out of field goal range. I don't know how good the range of their kicker is, but that's enormous. I like a delayed blitz, especially one that, well, it's not even delayed. He just came from far out, but love him getting around the tackle. And Braylon Shelby in there as well. Love it. That's big. Big 3rd down play. That's the difference is from last week is USC couldn't get any pressure no matter how hard they tried. Yeah, forcing a punt. See, that massive, massive play. Now you got to watch for the fake here. And this is going to... Did it go? Oof. Okay, it's better than it looked. That, I mean, I cannot emphasize how big that was, the sack, because you went from, okay, we'll settle for forcing them to take a field goal to blanking, restart, offense get out there, do the same thing you did last time, just don't fumble, and you're back right where you were as far as creating momentum in the right direction for USC. Much better. Much better. Mac, drain the clock and score. We know that's not always something that USC is capable of. Yeah, and Evan says that penalty and sack were huge, took Michigan out of field goal range. Yeah, again, it's your opponent makes a mistake. Do you jump on it or do you not? And in this case, USC jumped on it, and that's really the difference. In some games will be decided by that simple moment of you make a mistake and does your opponent jump on it? And that's what USC makes a mistake with the fumble, and Michigan looked like they were going to jump on it and then came away with nothing and really bailed out. Really bailed out Lake McCree in the offense. So that's what these two sides need to do to each other in a way that they haven't necessarily always been balanced, bailing each other out. Nick with the fascinating stats. USC under Riley goes 3 and out over 50% of the time when receiving a punt inside the 20-yard line. Well, we'll see if they can improve that percent. That's pretty scary. Okay. I mean, I don't know that you can run the clock down all the way to halftime, but teams have done that. So we'll see. 20 on the play clock. This will be my every once in a while reminder, even though we've been pretty good this game, not to spoil what's happening in the game until after I have reacted to it. Here comes Wayman with a decent gain. I am on a delay with Fubo, and you guys are on a delay hearing me with YouTube. So the delay will be significant. But also, I'm not the only person on a delay. Other people are going to be watching this either trying to sync up with my delay or delayed themselves. So try not to reveal what has happened on the field until you've given it a little of time for those of us on a delay to see it so that no one gets spoiled and we can all enjoy the game. 2nd and 6, 15 on the play clock. There's over the middle to the tight end again. Oh, yes. Just feed that to me. Feed that. I love it. He throws to where the blitz vacated. Perfect. There's that little gap in there. You got a second to get there. Then Walker Lyons makes a good catch and easy money. I swear it's been a revelation. Tight end up the seam has opened up this offense so much. Nice little cut for Waymo. Nice 5 yards for Waymo. Again, see, this is I will give the offense credit. No 3 and out. and I think that they just continue to do exactly what they've been doing. There's Lane whose helmet got grabbed from behind. Is that allowed? I don't know. Okay. If USC can keep moving the ball like this, they will. This game is for the taking. It's absolutely for the taking because the matchups in this game were strength on strength, offense on defense. And my biggest worry was going to be that USC wouldn't be able to run the ball against this defense, that Mayava would be getting pressured against this defense. And thus far, USC is controlling this. They are everything is whatever USC wants, they're getting. Little yeah, Mayava didn't let that hang up there a little bit too long for the little dump off to Lions, and that was very. Oh, did it get tipped? That makes more sense. I thought that was about to get intercepted on the tip. Oof. Okay. All right. Got out of dodge. Almost got unlucky there, but got out of dodge. What? I don't know.
Was that supposed to be a double pass?
I have no idea what that was supposed to be. On 2nd down, why are you getting cute like that? What is... Well, was that even a catch? They might want to look at that.
It looked forward.
Oh,
I thought it was backwards.
they thought it was backwards,
live, but it looked forward in the replay.
Yeah, if it was forward and hit the ground, then that's. I guess they. All right, they're gonna review it. That's a forward pass. That's a forward pass, right? From that angle, it doesn't. It definitely hit the ground. So was Maeva
Here's a dumb
just
question? Where does it matter? Is it at the tip or is it the time that it hits the ground?
like it can be tipped forward and then it's
Like, can it be tipped forward or backwards? So, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Or are they assuming that the pass was moving in a forward direction and thus either way, I mean, and maybe that was supposed to be a more straightforward play where it's just one of those little, screens out to the outside and it just looked weird because Tanook got bumped and then Maeva waited. Is that a Cubs home run?
yeah. Say
There
it.
you go.
1-1.
This is another one where it's like, it would be nice to be like the ACC reviews where we hear what they're talking about and hear what they're saying. And okay, backwards pass recovered by USC.
Oh, it's like third and
Play
12.
is dead at the spot where no, it's a fumble at that point. He recovers and he goes out of bounds. What is going on?
So it's going to be like third and 14, 15?
Why is that the ruling? Was his knee down or something? 3rd and 17 for. This makes no sense. In what universe is it down in that spot? All right. Well, here's Maeva getting pressured. Yeah. Maeva just had to get rid of it. I don't understand what just happened there. And if you're Riley, why aren't you arguing that? Like this is where you need to go to the ref and say, "Wait, no, that's not how it works." I don't know. Doesn't make a lot of sense. It never does. Because refs suck. They're not out to get you, they just suck. I'm very curious to see what USC Twitter thought of that, because I'm so confused. Haven't asked where the leverage penalty on the Michigan blockers is. it's nowhere because they simply don't call that ever, except for that one time that they did. I I don't fucking know, guys. Why? See, but if you don't want me to have a here we go again feeling, then like you can't have all this shit happen where it's, oh, USC, fumbles to stop a promising drive, and then they get the ball back miraculously because of a big play, and then on 2nd and 10 they run some weird ass play that gets them in a weird ass situation with the weird ass refs doing weird ass shit. Like, this is why I say here we go again, because it's literally this is here we go again. It's not always USC's fault, the here we go again, but the here we go again is undefeated. I have coffee that I need to drink. Double fisting coffee and a White Russian feels a little funny, but Lauren says, where are USC's coaching staff on that call? Do they not know the rules? I honestly, I think maybe where I will hear the criticism of a head coach who calls plays, where the idea that like Riley needs to give up play calling or whatever, which is never something I've supported because I think Riley isn't like, that's the best thing he does as USC's head coach. But like, this is maybe the argument for him not calling plays, because if you are the play caller, your mind has to immediately go to what is my 3rd and 17 play, instead of, wait, why am I in 3rd and 17 again? And then go run and shout at the refs, that's where you run into the split dynamic of like, whose job is what.
Yelling at the refs is so like, you think you're going to
No, but you see this all the time, going up to the refs and pointing out like, no, but that, like, why did you call it that way? Like, and then of course they get a big run. Like, I think Riley could have gone to them and asked for an explanation of why is it dead at the spot. And if there is an explanation, then it's given. Oh, hi, Jesse. How we doing? How you feeling, bud? Try giving her some food or water, or both. All right, 11 on the play clock. Michigan at the 33. Michigan should just keep running it, because when is USC going to stop them? And of course they don't, on a nice long carry. So the Mr. Matt asked, how are you feeling about the game? USC is leading, is how I'm feeling. I will feel a different way if USC is not leading. USC is giving up a lot of yardage on the ground, and I will feel a different way if that changes. See, and again, there's Underwood making a misthrow. You got to take advantage of these. Michael, do we just... Okay, sorry guys. Surprise, surprise, Michigan converted the first down with a run. Okay. 16 on the play clock. Michigan hands it off again. Nice little cut there. Good tackle by Cam Crawford. Oof. Floyd Picard is down. Doesn't look good. Alberto says, absolutely no way you're telling me Picard and Tompkins are better run defenders than Silver and Jarrett. The problem is that, like, when Silver has been in there, he hasn't been great. So, like, maybe it is that they are. But if that's the case, then USC had a terrible evaluation on some of the defensive line transfers that they brought in. So, I don't know. If I had an explanation for why the defense was what it is, then I'd have an explanation for you. I don't. It's very frustrating. The Mr. Matt says Michigan running the ball too easy. Yep. Alberto says he hasn't played enough to say he's not good. I mean, yeah, but like part of the problem with getting playing time is like if you go in and don't play well, then you justify the coaches not putting you in more often. Now the problem is like nobody that USC puts in there is any good against the run at this point. Like that's the bigger problem. Which of USC's run defenders is the best against the run on that defensive line? I can't name one that I think is doing a good job there. So, I probably G-Day maybe. Even that, I don't even know. I don't know. And then you get into the question of like, is this a situation maybe where the scheme is not giving them, the opportunities and it's more of a linebacker issue? I don't know. I'm not willing to totally give the defensive line that justification yet. Ooh, his knee got bent. Ugh. Yeah, Alberto says we're playing 3 techs at nose tackle. I mean, yeah, that's certainly not an ideal for sure. But like that's why I don't really understand, because I thought that Silver and Jarrett were supposed to be nice play by Eric Gentry. Silver and Jarrett were supposed to be the answer to that. So I don't know. But then again, like, does USC even have a nose tackle? And somebody who understands the technical sides of of a defense could tell me better. But like, it's not like USC is playing like a true nose tackle at any point. This front is usually 2 down linemen. Sorry, 3rd and 7. Jakeem's in the game. Too easy. And again, it's like, I don't know. USC's pass rush isn't winning their battles quickly enough, and then USC's corners are giving them too much cushion, and then, Underwood's getting moving. They're down to the 30, right back where we were. Alberto says they've been in mint fronts, so they are playing a true nose tackle. Well, okay. Sorry. Yes, that's totally fair. I guess then you get into the question of like, they're playing mint fronts, and who is their nose tackle at that point? They're not playing a true nose tackle because they're choosing not to, theoretically. But I don't know. I've seen Keyshawn Silver in there a couple times. Can't say I noticed if he did anything particularly positive. I don't think we've seen Jod Jarrett tonight. Why do I want to think that? Something tells me he might be injured. I can't remember, though. 15 on the play clock. And easy for Michigan. I mean, to be fair, this is how opposing defenses feel playing USC's offense. Like when we're looking at USC making it so easy. Oh, Lucas is going to get in trouble for that. Lucas is lucky he didn't get away. He didn't get popped for that hit. First and 15. We're back to, can USC pounce on these penalties? Easy 5 yards in the middle of traffic. Just my life for a play where Desmond Stevens isn't pushed back 5 yards. Second and 10, 12 on the play clock. Here's a blitz from the middle linebacker, and Underwood makes it completely irrelevant. The Mr. Matt says, I think we're cooked. I mean, the defense is cooked. The good thing is that I think USC's offense is still very much capable of outscoring Michigan at this point. It's just that, yeah, I think if you still have faith in this defense, then I don't know. You are a very much more hopeful person than I am. First and goal, 12 on the play clock. Here's a stuff. That's better. It's a big front USC's you got in there. Surprise, surprise. They get a stuff. Yeah, there's silver in there. And Abasiri. 15 on the play clock. Second and goal from the 8. Underwood. Lots of time. Yeah, that's a good catch, but you're making it hard for your DBs. Yeah. All right. In a game that USC should be leading comfortably, it's now going to be 7-7. Yeah, just a reminder. I haven't really been doing the reminders often enough. Do not react to things that have happened on the field until I have reacted to them. My recommendation at that, at a certain point is just to like type in what you want to type in and then just hit send when you've heard me respond to it. I know it can be exciting to go like, but maybe just type it in, wait, and then eventually I'll catch up and then we can all sort of move on. It's about not spoiling me. It's about not spoiling Michael, who is monitoring the chat. It's about not spoiling your fellow viewers. Yeah. Just that this pocket's too clean. Nicholson could do better there. He's close enough to defend that ball and just doesn't get his eye on the ball, but yeah. there's Justin Haynes leaving, so that's tough for Michigan. But frankly, Justice Haynes is a good running back. I don't think Michigan needs to have their best running back on the field to run on this USC team. I'm just saying. I am simply observing. All right. Here's King Miller again, returning to 25. All right, got to check in on what's going on around the country. Auburn is up 10-0, and they have the ball again. Texas Tech is up 21-7 on Kansas. Texas A&M is still up 21-14 on Florida. LSU just scored a touchdown on South Carolina, so it's 10-7 there, or going to be. BYU's up 14-7 on Arizona. LBC Robbie says, every one of you would have taken 14-7 halftime score. I mean, sure, unless you told me that USC's offense looked completely unstoppable against this Michigan defense on a play-by-play basis. There's Wayman Jordan for a couple yards. I think that's my problem is, like, there's oh no, Waymo, please don't. Oh, good God. Oh, Jesus Christ, my nightmare. Okay, King Miller is now USC starting running back, folks. And we love me some King Miller. Catch? Catch? Oh, Mackay. You beautiful bastard. That is such a good catch. Let's go, King. King Miller, it's all you, baby. This is your moment. This is your moment. Walk on. This is your moment. Who is King Miller? It's time to show them. It's time to show him. Good God. It is pretty damn incredible, guys. This is, and I'm going to give credit to Tony Jones at this point, considering that there are way too many coaches on this coaching staff that I thought would be really good that I can't necessarily point to being very good. Tony Jones, USC's running backs coach, like, it is a testament to him, his ability to scout, his ability to coach, all of that, like, USC has now lost Waymo, my favorite player of the last 30 years almost. Eli Sanders, who is just such a joy to watch. And Brian Jackson has been injured all season. And now you've got a walk-on red freshman as your number one back. And I'm actually sitting here going, like, that's okay. I think King can handle it. I think King can handle it. Can King handle it? I think he can. I guess my concern there is if Waymo's out and Eli Sanders is out and Brian Jackson is out, then, like, I think King can handle it, but also you still need another running back. And I guess Harry Dalton would be. Is he available? Let's check. Oh, okay. So Harry Dalton is not available, according to Eli Sanders. I'm sorry, to Shotgun. Shotgun says that hold on, Shotgun says Wayman limps off the field. If he's unavailable, USC will not have a healthy scholarship running back. That means the two that they have available are King Miller and I'm looking this up, sorry. Okay, so Eli Sanders went to the locker room. Wayman Jordan, we just saw him hop off. Brian Jackson has been injured. I believe Riley Wormley has been injured the whole time. Or it's the other way around. Harry Dalton is injured and Riley Wormley was available. So it's King Miller, Sean McKelvey, who's a walk-on. Second and 2. 16 on the play clock. King with the run. Tough running. Very close to the first down. I don't think they're giving it to him, but that's tough running. Love Mayaba in there trying to push him forward too. I just like Mayaba a lot. All right, 3rd and 1. Big play. I think you might go for this on 4th if you end up there. Although, yeah, it's be a long field goal. Here's the handoff to King, who gets it. He's a tough runner. He also looks like a confident runner, which again is what I for a guy in his position being thrown in like this, he looks like he knows exactly what he's about, and I will credit Tony Jones with that as well. Albert says Tanuk or Mackay could play running back if needed. Honestly, like Mackay could absolutely. I mean, Mackay is basically Amon-Ra St. Brown 2.0, and that's exactly what USC did last time. And he can catch the ball, and he can spin. King Miller for Heisman.
Is he the Miller who was promised?
He's the Miller who was promised. I'm tweeting that for you, Michael. Yeah, Waymo doesn't look like he can put any weight down on his ankle, so oh, shit. All right, 30 seconds on the play clock. USC needs to start moving here. But Riley is showing us that he's learned how to kill the clock. Okay, King! Hey, call timeout. Call timeout. I love that USC has lost number 1 and number 2, and Riley has basically just said, well, fuck it, our offense is King Miller. Like, this kid. See, now if I was a Michigan fan, I'd be sitting here like, are you serious? We're getting gashed by a walk-on? So, turnabout is fair play. Okay. 15 seconds, 1st and 10. Now is when you take a shot into the end zone. And he's got it. Waymo's got his shoe off. Are they waiting for a cart? USC's had to cart too many guys in. Jake says Clay Matthews was a walk-on. Yeah, King Miller is working his way towards the best walk-on at USC since Clay Matthews. Speaking of, who is the best walk-on at USC since Clay Matthews?
Chase McGrath.
Kickers, I feel like, don't count in this conversation.
God damn it, Dansby.
Okay. "15 seconds. Michigan gets the ball first, I think. So it's even more important to get a touchdown here. Timeout feels endless. Just a reminder as we come back to play, do not react to whatever happens on the field until I have. If you need to, type it into the chat and then wait to send until you hear me. React to it. In the meantime, I might not be looking at the chat for the time being.
There's nothing better than retribution.
Oh, were they reviewing it?
Were they? Dansby commits an error.
Uh-huh.
Very next play.
Double
play ball.
Nice.
And he puts the throw perfectly on this time. 11.
I would like for somebody to do a better job of explaining what's going on at any point in the broadcast, but I don't know. Maybe I wasn't listening. Jesus. Okay, so what I can glean from that is that they gave USC the first down and then reviewed it, found that there was that they were short. So then it's 2nd and 1. And then I guess it's a question of, did either way USC use the timeout? I don't know. Jake pops into the chat. Just because you're such an ardent supporter of Skipper and the New Bruins, I will refrain from saying go Big Blue. XOXO. Yeah, Jake did get a text from me, all caps, Bruins, this morning when I woke up and saw they were beating the pants off of Michigan State. You know, sometimes coaching changes. That interim bump, man. It's always fun. There's an interim bump. All right. 2nd and 1, 16 on the play clock. Empty backfield. Mayava to the catch. Touchdown. Mackay. Okay, so just to paint a picture here, my feed went like pixelated with the ball in the air. So all I could see was sort of some like white blurs and I couldn't tell where the ball was. So I was like, oh God, is this about to be intercepted? And then when it came back, Mackay had the ball and he had it. That was beautiful. Mackay. Touchdown Trojans. I'll give you a free one there.
Touchdown Trojans.
Yeah. Mackay is so good. And that's the nice thing too, is like USC has a situation with the offense where teams will rightly look at Jacoby Lane and go like, he's the guy we got to worry about in the red zone. But freaking Mackay Lemon is so good. He's just such a reliable catcher of the ball. I don't even like that ball was thrown. Yes, you're okay. Yeah, you get away with it because Mackay is that good. That's a scary ass ball to throw.
Legitimately, I think that might be the most impressive catch I've ever seen.
Yes, he's being interfered with.
I don't know how he sees the ball. I don't know how he knows where it is. Any of those things.
That is an incredible catch. See, Joe says beautiful clock management by Riley. See, but this is, and maybe he did learn from what happened at the end of the last game. But like, this is what they should have been doing. Don't take that shot. Trust that Mackay Lemon will make the catch, but don't take that shot into the end zone until after you've gotten the clock down a little bit further. I know you just got to score when you got to score and all that kind of stuff, but like, this was the sequence. This was the way it should have gone down.
And it really looks good when you convert, right?
Yeah,
Like,
well, because I mean, the
because-
question was after last game was like, well, do you run the clock down and risk not scoring? And I think my argument and the argument from a lot of people is like, I don't think it's that big of a risk of not scoring because of this. Now, obviously, there is a risk of not scoring, but like more
'Cause-
often than not, USC has found the way to score.
Yeah, because I do think that there was a world there where like he was maybe a little bit too slow coming down, because that's incomplete. It's 14 seconds, and now it's a 3rd and 1.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to just get the first down. Like your chances of scoring a touchdown drop drastically.
Yeah, and
right?
with this little time to go.
But when you make the plays, and when you make the plays right at that time, like it ends up being absolutely perfect.
Oh, cheers to Irvine Cattle Ranch for the touchdown Trojans.
Touchdown Trojans.
Yep. Yep. The problem, I mean, obviously, that was so important that USC got that because Michigan does get the ball coming out of the half, and now you're looking at Michigan at most being able to tie it, and I suspect that they will tie it because I am not putting any faith in USC's defense at this point until they give me a reason to. Max says, wonder how bad Waymo's injury is. I mean, when you get carted off with an ankle injury as a running back, it's not good. I'm not holding my breath. LBC Robbie says should be 28-7. I mean, 28-7 maybe is pushing it a little bit, but absolutely should be 21-7. Take the fumble. USC's getting in the end zone, but for that fumble, 21-7 is a very different game. So, played a good half defensively. Tell yourself that, Lincoln. Yeah. Jackson says Mackay is an All-American. Could not agree with you more firmly, Jackson. The only reason he wouldn't be an All-American is if people ain't paying attention. And at a certain point, he's playing so well that like people got to be paying attention. I mean, what we talked about in the past, USC's, he's the number 1 PFF receiver. Like, if at worst, I am confident that PFF will give him that All-American nod, but he should be getting it from everybody. He's that good. Yeah, I think we're going to take a break for halftime. We will be back in, I'm going to set a timer this time we'll be back in 10 minutes. All right. See ya.
Go.
Hello, everybody. We are back. We are back for more USC football during a Kisunla commercial. Okay.
You were talking about the names for drugs.
Yeah.
So I always thought they just made them up. Apparently they don't, because it has to include like the active ingredient or something. Like Sky Rizzy, for instance, has something called like Risitol or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I'm speaking out of my ass here, but
I've
you know
always
what I mean?
assumed that they were like there was a jumping off point, but then they have to like decide what is like market friendly in terms of, because Donanebab Asbit isn't market friendly. Which must mean that like citalopram is Celexa and escitalopram is Lexapro. So there must be like a Lex something LEX that they're playing off of there.
Mm-hmm. Fluoxetine has ox blood in it, I think.
Nan says, whatever happens, thank God you're not Penn State. I mean, this is true. This is true. At least
it is crazy how, like, even after losing to Oregon, I think they would have still felt somewhat positive about their chances this season.
I mean, they would have had a little bit of like a here we go again in terms of can't win the big game, but like
it wouldn't have been like, well, the season's effed, right?
Yeah.
And then now it gets to the point where like the season's completely done. Like they've lost games and they lose their quarterback. Like it's over. It's just over.
Yep. Their two losses. It's the first time since like records were kept that a team has lost two consecutive games against 20-point underdogs. Here's the kickoff. Brian says Franklin has lost PSU. He's out maybe Monday. I do think that like
this is the ammo to do it.
This is the closest that they will have come to being able to pull that trigger. I am still doubtful that they do it now.
It's another time to lose to 20-point underdogs.
Oh, no question. Yeah, it's a whole other issue. But I also think that it will still be a hard thing to go for, considering. All right, here's a handoff from Michigan that's stuffed. Miracle of miracles. Look at that. Let's see if USC can keep that up. Who's down there? It's Silver and Tompkins. I do think we're seeing more playing time for Silver in this game than we have in previous. It's an empty backfield. Still not. Oh, is that a flag? Holding? Offensive pass interference would be big. Yep. It's funny how they called that offensive pass interference, but not the one on Jacoby Lane. Again, the refs aren't out to get you. They just suck. What? Oh my gosh! Come on, they get him. They get him contacted at 1-2 yards out, and he still goes for 5. This is a big one. It's a big 25 in the play clock for the record. Third and 17. 12 on the play clock. If USC gives this up, I'm going to have an aneurysm. Some pressure. Here comes Underwood. And they got him. There you go, Stevens. That's a good tackle, Desmond Stevens. And USC did collapse that pocket pretty quickly. Tompkins got in there. He's got to make that tackle, too, because be tough if he misses it. That's a big stop. And again, I know
he had the dude at the sticks.
Yes. I know I'm a broken record on this, but again, it's the opposing team will make mistakes when they're on the road. Oof, that's a terrible punt. The opposing team will make mistakes. You have to pounce on them. You have to make them pay for it. And there's USC's defense again. That's twice that they've gotten the stop because Michigan has gotten a penalty and USC has made it difficult for them. Now, you just need your offense to not shoot themselves in the foot. Nan says, excellent job, defense. Offense has to score because I don't trust the D. No, me neither. I'm going to... Every stop that the defense gets at this point is going to be, to me, like a plus. The offense has to treat that like it's the only stop that the defense is going to get this half. Nick says, dare I say, complimentary football? Only if USC scores. Only if the Trojans score.
Take a deep shot here? Or is that too obvious?
I see if I can get a look I like. This would be a play where I would come out with like 4 verts called, but be very prepared to do the little dump off to the running back the moment that it's not there.
Yeah, you score here, you win the middle 8.
Teams that win the middle 8 usually win the game.
I hate taking the ball first to start a game. I think you should always have it to start the second half. Just to avoid a situation like SC scores at the end of the first half to feel good and then Michigan comes immediately out and ties it kind of thing. But I do think that the boost in getting the stop out of the second half is nice. Because now, if you score here, like, there's a world where Michigan feels like their chance sort of evaporated before their eyes. You know what I mean?
That Google Trend search is fun. I like that. It's a feature. Mayaba, I don't think he got his foot down. Yeah. Yeah, he didn't get his foot down. Unless... Ooh! That's a catch, Mackay! Wow!
I don't think that is. That's out of bounds.
No, look! His foot taps back.
Yeah, that's out of bounds. That's on the line.
No, it wasn't on the line.
Yes, it was.
Am I?
What you are seeing is the big white strip of the boundary.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Well, okay. USC doing that fun thing where that there you go, King! Go, King! Go! 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 I'm sorry, Badger. I'm sorry. King Miller was being awesome. I'm sorry. Oh my God. King Miller is like single-handedly just like restoring my faith in humanity. That's who is King Miller. Feed them! Feed me, cuz! Iron Cats is our running back 31. RB 31. Well, RB 30 might be better. Second and 6, 14 on the play clock. USC's at the 15. King! 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 Bow down to the king, guys. Is he the king in the South?
He's the king in the South.
It would have been so much better if USC was still in the Pac-12 South, too. Like, I'm just saying.
King is such a badass name when you're good.
Right? Touchdown, Trojans. Irvine, thank you again. Touchdown, Trojans. And now here come the stupid flags. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on Michigan. All right. Clay S says, congrats, USC. You are kicking our ass. Our arse, actually. Lol. Clay, I assume you are a Michigan fan. I am truly shocked that USC is able to do this to Michigan's defense. I know that the Michigan's lost some really good guys, certainly on the defensive line from last year, but Michigan still is a really good defense. And I think it speaks mostly to the level of offense that Lincoln Riley can field, that USC is able to do this against Michigan's defense, because USC is doing this without their best lineman, left tackle Elijah Page. USC is doing this with a backup center, Genre Reed, although backup is maybe being a little bit weird about that because he was brought in to be the number one guy. What's that?
The game's obviously not over. So
no.
So much,
have you seen USC's defense?
No, I know. But what I'm saying is, like, SC right now is averaging 7.5 yards per play. That would be the most Michigan has allowed in the last several seasons, going back to the 2021 playoff game against Georgia.
I didn't think USC would be able to run the ball against Michigan. I thought that USC was going to have to do just enough, that Wayman Jordan and Eli Sanders were going to have to do some special things, and that a lot of the work that they were going to do was probably going to be more in the screen game than in between the tackles. And that's just not what has come to pass. USC has been able to run between the tackles. And I got to give huge credit to the offensive line because they are opening up the holes, and it doesn't matter which running back's been out there. They've all been able to break through. So I'm not taking anything away from King Miller because King has shown really good vision and the ability to cut, and then the ability to pull away a little bit. But you know, I think it does speak to what USC is able to do on the offensive line and the job that Zach Hansen is doing there with that unit. Yeah, I honestly, I didn't see this coming. Very specifically, the run game success. Thomas says, Alicia, I think your game has lag. It does. I am watching on Fubo, for those who are new. I'm watching on Fubo. Fubo has a pretty significant lag. Also, you guys are getting the stream from YouTube. Obviously, we'll have a certain amount of lag for you guys. So, yes, I am on a delay. That's why I'll be announcing what the play clock is at for me on any given play, and that'll cue you into where I'm at in the game. All we ask is just not to spoil what's happening in the game until I've heard it, so that I don't get spoiled, so that Michael doesn't get spoiled, but most importantly, so that others who are in the chat who are also on a delay, whatever delay that is, that they won't be spoiled as well. So just be cautious of that. Be careful of that. Sean from beautiful Austin, Texas in the chat. I recognize no king, but the king's in the South. Yes. Cheers. Scurrian asks, honest question, have we ever won the middle eight? I will say USC had a very long run there for a while of never winning the middle eight. So Lake McCree on that run got destroyed so bad. I think the defender was stunned into shock and just stood there while King ran by him. That's fun. All right. Defense on the field, 12 on the play clock. Michigan's at the 25. Not getting a lot of pressure, but that's good. Gentry. See, now, why is that not a penalty when it happens the other way? Well, Gentry's right on top of that. All right, 2nd and 5, 20 on the play clock. Yeah, Eric's having himself a game, Irvine. I agree. I think he said this is one of some impact plays from him. Handoff, and yeah, first down. Stevens bit the motion on the outside. Yeah, but I mean, that's going back to something like this game is not over. No one from USC's side will say that because we have seen what this USC defense is always capable of or not capable of. There's a stop. That's Cam Crawford. That's Jide Abasirian there getting the tackle for loss. I think the mistake that Michigan is making here is that USC cannot stop you running north-south. Like, I don't know why you're trying to do an outside zone there. I assume that's an outside zone, but an outside run either way. When you just should be running it straight up the middle, like straight attack straight at this USC defense. Take advantage of the there you go, G-Day. I mean, he runs into his own offensive lineman and stops himself, but G-Day does a good job of making sure he goes down as well because he almost got away there. Ooh, and he's limping. He's limping. It did look like he got rolled up under. Right here, when G-Day brings him down, and then, yep, he sort of rolls over the top of his ankles. Oof. And then he gets pushed backwards. Oof. Okay. 3rd and 10. Big down. Big down. That's a screen. Oof. Good D. Good D. I'm not sure what that was, though, because was that a screen or was that bad blocking? Because the throw doesn't look like it's going towards the screen. I think that was just terrible. Like, USC's defensive line just destroyed them. That's big. That's big. Okay. Scurrian says, put him away. This is the drive that we have been asking for a long time from USC. There's Makai. Break one, break run. Nope. No. Okay, now that one scared me. That one was scary. This is the big drive. USC has done a really poor job of putting their foot on an opposing team's throat and just saying game over. We have not seen USC say game over in games against Big Ten opposition or against better opposition for way, way, way too long. This is your game over drive. This is your you are done drive. If USC's offense goes down the field and goes up 28-7, that's the it's over drive. Will USC do it? Past experience tells me no, they won't, but past experience also told me that USC's defense wasn't getting the stops that they've gotten so far in this game. So, we'll see. We'll see if something changes here. But that was a really good defensive drive. The best thing about that defensive drive, honestly, is it wasn't fueled by penalties. That was a pure defensive stop. They got the tackle for loss, and then creating negative plays puts Michigan in a bind, and the freshman quarterback isn't able to get them out of it. That's big. That's a big moment for this defense. Yeah. Spanky says, what about any of the other wide receivers that were highly touted that don't contribute to the offense? Jacoby Lane was the big target early on in this game. I think that what we're seeing from this particular team, and I would say this is a good development, is that it's obviously Makai Lemon is number one. Jacoby Lane is certainly somebody who can pop up and have a big moment or two when USC needs him to. But I think the third wide receivers in this team are not wide receivers. The third pass catchers are the tight ends. It's McCree and it's Walker Lyons, and they have made the catches that keep this offense ticking over. Aside from the fact that USC just has been running the ball so well and not needed the wide receivers to come through. But I think that this is a very balanced passing attack in the sense of that balance that we've talked about this in the past, where balance doesn't need to mean passes versus rushes. Sometimes balance can mean passes to wide receivers, passes to tight ends, passes to running backs, and then handoffs. Nick asked, do we have more 3-and-out stops today than the previous games combined? You know what? That might be the case. I'm not sure, but
there's 2 today so far.
Lawrence says, so the core problem with the SC defense all comes down to the passing game. Give us a bad passing quarterback and our defense looks much better. I mean, most defenses look much better when they're playing a quarterback who can't pass the ball. And I think that Michigan's problem since they lost J.J. McCarthy... King! I am having so much fun right now, guys. I am having so much fun.
The blocking on that play too.
I want. Can we? You've brought it up, Michael. But like in our rundown, I think we talked about like running back performances against Michigan's defense. Like, what were the best running back performances against Michigan's defense going back?
Yeah, the best running back performance against Michigan was
there's Jacoby Lane,
a guy who had like 3.5 yards per carry, and right now King Miller is averaging 14.4. I mean, 2 of those were like 50-yard runs, so take that for what it's worth. But
yeah, but he's now had like 3 30-yard runs, and all of his runs in between have been like 5 or 6 yards too. Like he's not. This isn't just like 1 yard, 2 yard, 1 yard break. This is like 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards break. What a damn performance. And I want to again reiterate, like, you don't open up these rushing lanes for a running back without your offensive line and your tight ends blocking super well. Come on, Mackay. Oh, that was almost a penalty on Walker Lyons, but he let him go.
Ray in the chat says, feed him. The scary part is, like, you can't overfeed him right now.
He's literally your
because
only
he's your only
back.
running back. So, like, you need to balance that while still extracting all the yards you can from him, right?
Yeah. Second and 11, 13 on the play clock. There's a handoff. Yeah, there was no room there. I wonder if that was a read option. It is also, can we just talk about like how funny it is still that Kalon and King are brothers, 290-pound offensive linemen, 200 what do we think King is? 210 running back. Brothers. 6'1", 210 for King. Kalon is, I gotta pay attention. 6 foot 290. All right, Mayava's getting pressured. Gotta throw it away, bro. Gotta go throw it away. Or get away. That's fine too. That's not fine. Okay. Yep, that's Mayava.
What is that decision?
Just throw it away. He knows.
Throw it away or go out of bounds.
He knows. He fucked that. Yeah, he knows. I don't want to say I freaking called it again, but what did I say? The it's over now drive. Something always happens. Turnover, like just USC is losing the turnover battle in this game and still well ahead. If they weren't losing the turnover battle, this would be a blowout. Yeah, that was just really stupid. That was just really, really, really stupid. Keely posted a video of Tony Jones being super excited for King Miller. That was fun. Keeley also says that Brian Jackson, the running back who's been injured the last few weeks, is now suited up and warming up on USC sideline. So that's interesting. I wonder if they were like playing it safe with him in terms of like easing him back into action, but he's close enough that in an emergency they're going to let him go. Yeah, Spencer says good player, just boneheaded play. Yes, this is the Mayava problem. Like, I think he's been extremely good at not making those bad decisions this season for the most part, but you know, I think that he flew a little bit too close to the sun there. He got away with scrambling away, and then sort of sometimes you just feel invincible and you're like, screw it, I'm going to turn this into an incredible play instead of, oh, I got away, now we can mitigate risk and just throw the ball away. So, yeah. Nick says, I don't understand that one. See, here's the thing, like, I will say, it was definitely an interception. Hold up. Yeah, why are we bothering with this? Why are we bothering with this? I mean, it would be funny if he didn't get the interception because his teammate tipped it, but no, it's a catch. Yeah. What I was going to say is, like, I understand this because you know, I've been playing college football 25, and like I totally you lose your mind sometimes while you're playing. You see something that isn't there. You just totally miss who you miss that a defender is there. You get like tunnel vision or a blind spot, and you think, I'm going to turn this scramble into a touchdown. It's going to be on Sports Center or something like that, and then you do something stupid. Like, it happens, and sometimes you get burned by it, and you obviously don't want it to happen. But Sagar says my daughter just said she's not as delayed today. Hey, or Sagar, you are more delayed today. Maybe it's, yeah. All right, 2nd and 4, 18 on the play clock. USC's defense is back out there. Gentry. It's a first down for Michigan, but Eric Gentry just made a tackle with his arm. You talk about like arm tackles, like this was a clothesline tackle. Literally the only part of Eric Gentry's body that touched this man was his arm. Oh, I find that so funny. I need to enjoy the lightness that I currently have, because like I just, you know, I know I'm just going to be angry later. So it's a handoff delayed. It's a little draw. Yeah, there's Jaden Walker with the tackle. Now would be a really, really, really good time for USC's defense to again come up with that stop. Yeah, this is too easy. It's too easy. Boo, boo, boo. 19 on the play clock. 1st and 10 from the 39 for Michigan. They are running into their own guys. And there's Kamari. And Marcellus? No. Fitzgerald. It feels like Michigan is trying to do that annoying thing where every play is either outside or inside, outside or inside, outside or inside, just back and forth, back and forth. 2nd and 8, 16 on the play clock. Here's Underwood, open over the middle. Okay, it's okay. Yeah. First and 10, 28 on the play clock. They're moving fast now. Got USC's defense on the back foot. This is the point. Like it does feel like USC's defense needs Michigan to give him a little bit of help here, like a penalty or a missed throw or something like that. Like that's what USC's defense is waiting for. 18 on the play clock, first and 10 from the 29. Michigan's looking confident now. There's good breakup. There you go, Nicholson. That's better. Not a great throw, but that's better. Better defense. I mean, announcer says he gave Marsh a chance. He made that hard for Marsh and gave Nicholson a chance to break it up. It's not a good throw. Okay, second and 10, 15 on the play clock. Motion into the backfield and back out. Here's a handoff and a nice stuff. There's Gentry. Gentry is having a really good game. Third down. Third down. All right. If you're Michigan, though, can you take a field goal here? It's pretty early, I guess. 10 on the play clock from the 29. Third and 10. USC send... Yes! Yes! Bishop! Death, taxes, Bishop Fitzgerald's red zone interceptions. There he goes again. There goes that man. 19-19. That's a terrible throw. Bryce Underwood saw Jaden Mayava make a terrible throw and was like, yeah, I'll do that too. I have no idea who he thinks that's going to be completed to. Yeah, I have no idea where that was supposed to go. But that's very helpful. That's Scurrian says, welcome, freshman quarterback. I mean, yeah, this is why teams with freshman quarterbacks are going to necessarily be vulnerable. This is why I didn't want Hassan Longstreet to have to be the starter for USC this year. I just don't want. This is what happens. No matter how good your freshman quarterback is, you could have a really good freshman quarterback, and they are still potentially going to be doing that. I mean, you want to get them to a point where by the time they're a sophomore and a junior, that they're not making those mistakes. They're making them a lot less often. We have seen that from Jaden Mayava, for instance. He's still making that mistake, but way, way, way less often than he was last year. And that's the progression for quarterbacks. You have to sort of live through some of those growing pains. And when it's the opposing team, it's nice to be able to count on those growing pains. 22 seconds on the play clock. USC's got it first and 10. Here's King Miller back into the backfield. There's some blitz. Handoff, and he's stuffed. Yeah, I didn't see much there. Sagar, the king, the bishop, and who else going to come through? It's a shame USC doesn't have anyone on the team named
Duke.
Yeah.
I mean, they have Prince Strong.
They do have Prince. I think Prince is still out, though. I haven't seen him. But yes, if you got, imagine a game where you got touchdowns from Bishop, King, Prince. I was thinking, if you had somebody on the team named, Rook or Castle. Queen, Pawn. So many chess references. My best friend is super into chess right now. I literally was at her house the other day and she was telling me all about her getting super into chess. So I've got the chess stuff on my mind. Sunbun says ace or jack. Spencer Sanchez, the Lion. Walker Lions. Lion is a good one. Lion works. Lauren says there's a whole quarter left to go. Riley can't go conservative. We need a score here and it's over. Could not agree more. USC, I don't know if I need to go on my, I don't know if people want me to go on my, kill it drive rant yet, because I may have like jinxed it with it last time. But yes, USC missed their chance and then Michigan gave it back. And now USC gets another chance to put it away. Game over. Yeah, Spanky, Pawn would be a terrible name. I like Pawn would be terrible, yes. Like James Pawn. No, not great. Sunbun says it should be 35-14. Yeah. Yeah. Clay says I will just not watch and let you call this BS. I hope you enjoy me like losing my mind about King Miller then, Clay. I feel like you might be a little bit of a masochist over there. Unless you're like not a Michigan fan, maybe you're like maybe you're an Ohio State fan that's secretly enjoying this. Joe says, don't trust my Ava after that. Run 3 times, punt, and rely on the defense. I disagree, actually. I think what we'll see from Riley will be this. One of the ways that you get confidence back in your quarterback is you put it straight back in their hands. And maybe you call a couple, short, easy plays to get him just back with a completion or 2 under his belt. But just like with a running back who fumbles, I think we've seen USC go straight back to Wayman Jordan. I wouldn't take the ball out of Mayaba's hands at this point. I would still want to run it, but Michigan has got a couple of stops here, a couple of stuffs. So I think you still need to keep it buried. Clay says no. They're an old school Michigan fan. Well, glad to have you. Thanks for being chill and respectful.
Mayaba had a really bad third quarter at Illinois, right?
Yes.
And he responded with a terrific fourth quarter.
Yes.
So I think, look at the SRS distribution Las Vegas Bowl, right?
Yes.
He throws the worst, now the second worst pass of his life in the beginning of that fourth quarter, and then rallies with 3 touchdown drives after that. So, I don't think that you can, for lack of a better way to put this, pussyfoot around with your play calls after, because you can't let that interception turn into 3 interceptions because you have him timid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to do what works at some point.
And Mayaba has proven, I think, more often than not, that he's pretty good at flushing it and going back out. And I think he's had, certainly a few times where he's had multiple drives where he's just been a little bit off, but he tends to right himself, I think, for the most part. All right, let's check in. All right, oh no, USC's back. USC's at the 24. There's a little wide receiver screen. Love that, Mackay. That's exactly the kind of play I expected. Either that one or one of those little looping screens with the 2 linemen that go out. Just something really simple, something easy. Let's see. Georgia's still down on Auburn. Okay, 15 on the play clock. USC's at the 41. Handoff to King, who's going. He's quick. He's just quick. Brian says 1 pick per game is not unusual. Yeah. I think obviously you don't want to pick every game, but most quarterbacks throw interceptions. That's the truth of it. 18 on the play clock, 2nd and 2 from the 49. Who's that up top? That's not Jacoby. Is that Prince? Or is that DJ Jordan? 15 is Prince, right?
15 is Richardson, right?
Richardson. That's right. Right. That is correct. It's Richardson.
To go back to the one
Prince is
pick
17.
thing, you can survive one pick. When you get to 2 and 3, you are absolutely putting yourself against the 8 ball.
Yes. Yeah, 14 on the play clock. USC's at the 46. There's Tanook. Clay says, how about Penn State was watching a short and how the fans were booing Franklin? Penn State is not a happy place right now. It's one thing to lose to, like, top 5 teams. It's a whole other thing to lose to UCLA and Northwestern. Now, UCLA is clearly changed by the coaching change, and Northwestern's probably doing better this season than we would have guessed, but there's a handoff to King, who powers forward for a first down. Love this kid. Yeah, King's a redshirt freshman, walk on. Same with his brother. And I think what we're learning about the King brothers is like they're just gamers, I think, because, you know, King has obviously taken center stage, but like, remember, Kalon Miller was battling for the starting guard job unexpectedly this offseason. Now, was that maybe a reflection of Alani Noah not going out and winning it the way he should have? Maybe, but I don't know. The way that we're seeing the offensive line come together, Alani Noah is doing just fine. Kalon Miller was obviously, that one was not well blocked. Yeah. I just think that the Miller brothers clearly got something there. LBC Robbie says, the game is there, and the game is in the refrigerator. Door is closed, light is out, the eggs are cooling, and the butter is getting hard. The great Chick Hearn. I love a Chick Hearn quote, reference, etc., but I'm not going to call it in the refrigerator yet, bud. I am scarred deeply. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I got to check in on other games again. Got to check and make sure that we're doing on the desk. And there's a lot of low-scoring games in this late window. Texas A&M hasn't really pulled away from Florida yet. They're still up by 7, but they have the ball. Georgia and Auburn are still 10-7. Georgia can't score. LSU, South Carolina are now at 10-10. Sunbun says, butter's hard at 35-7. I agree. I agree. Spencer says, I don't think the Jell-O is jiggling just yet. Beautiful, yes. 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 My favorite thing, I tweeted all caps, who is King Miller? And my favorite thing is like the people who answered, like, who answered earnestly. And I don't have the heart to tell them. Max says Wazoo almost upset Ole Miss today. Well, okay, yeah. Can I go on a rant? Can I go on a little bit of a rant here? Okay. There's still this perception of like, oh, Pac-12 teams, like, welcome to the Big Ten. Like, it's different here. And it's like, yeah, Big Ten football is different than Pac-12 football. But like, I get tired of people acting like the Pac-12 was a bunch of scrubs who were going to come to the Big Ten and like not do anything. Oregon's been one of the best teams in the Big Ten since they walked in the door. We're seeing, teams
Oregon
like
literally won the comp.
Yes. USC has their own problems that are far separate from Big Ten, those Big Ten, Pac-12 like question marks. But USC went toe to toe with Penn State last year. Like it's not that USC's not capable of it's not a physical battle that USC's got a problem with the Big Ten. It's USC's own internal issues. Like a bad UCLA team has beaten Penn State. And then the least Big Ten team of like Indiana is the one that downs Oregon. It's these. I think these teams are more evenly matched than people ever wanted to give them credit for. And yeah, we've got Stanford and Wazoo and others coming in and getting good results against other teams. Cal getting good results. So, here's Mayaba. Tanuk with just the drop. I mean, there was a lot of heat on that pass, but
he took his eye off it.
He took his eye off the ball. Yep.
Quiet.
Badger. Are you being a loud guy? Yeah, he is. 3rd and 10. USC's at the 36. 15 on the play clock. Oh, my God. That's going to be a hold on whoever got absolutely. How like it's bad enough that you get absolutely just demolished like that. And then you also get called for the hold. That's Michael Benuelos. Oh. Ooh. All right, 3rd and 20. Sounds like it's time to just hand it off for King Miller to get another 30-yard gain. I wonder if you just run a screen here and see if you can get close enough to justify going for it on 4th. 19 on the play clock. Going to be a handoff. Nope. Yep, they're a little screen. And again, Lemon picks up a few yards. Is this... Yeah, they're going to kick it.
I don't know.
It's a long field goal, but...
All the options sound bad here.
Yeah, I don't like punting. I don't like kicking. I don't like going for it. Well, speaking of like unexpected freshman contributors, let's see if Ryan Sayuri can go for it. It's gonna just good. All right, there you go. It's the game of freshman walk-ons doing shit. Saman, our friend, is probably very happy about that one. That's a good kick. I love that. I like when people are really happy for guys. SJ says that was huge. Yeah, I getting points there. It's not the it's over level of points, but you are now up by 3 scores, which makes it a big deal. Joe says Badger is simply saying bring in Hassan. That would have been nice. Clay says today USC is for real. Yeah, I also think that like this is just USC being annoying and being better at home than on the road, and just USC's just what it is. Mark asks, what did he miss? Well, Mark, you missed King Miller is what you missed. You missed me having a religious experience via King Miller. Mac asked, is Jacoby Lane injured? He did come into the game hurt, and he hasn't been in since he had that last catch drive or two ago. I haven't heard anything. I'm checking. I am checking if anyone has mentioned something about Jacoby Lane. No one's mentioned that he's out. So they might just be taking it easy with him. He has missed some time.
Sierra is Persian.
Yes, Sierra is Persian. Which is why our friend Simon loves him, because he's also Persian. And it's certainly not often that, I certainly, it's rare enough that like a Hispanic person is a big deal in football, in American football, let alone, a Persian player. I certainly can't think of another one. Max says, I haven't seen him in a while in this half, at least. He does definitely have a catch in this half, because I had been wondering if he was still in, and then he popped up with a catch. So, but yeah, it's been a drive or two since I've seen him. Sagar says, dude, I thought he was Indian. Been telling everyone he's my son all season. Sorry to disappoint you, Sagar. Speaking of, I doubt I certainly can't remember too many like Indian football players that have been out there. So yeah, I don't blame you. But no, definitely Persian. Yeah, Greg says even an Asian kicker like Koo Young Ho. Yeah. I mean, he's the only Asian football player that I could certainly think of.
Hawaii has a Chinese kicker. He's got Chinese characters on his back of his.
Oh,
is he Chinese or
right.
He's Japanese?
That's right.
I'm
You're right though. He has
Japanese characters.
He has
Japanese.
He
characters.
has character. It might be Japanese. Yeah, but you're right. He's either Japanese or Chinese, and he has the those characters. I remember that being pretty cool. I'm sure we should probably get that right though, whether he is one or the other.
He's Japanese.
Japanese, okay, yes.
Kansei Matsuzawa.
So he has the Japanese character. Kanji, I think, is the name of the characters. I don't know. Could be wrong. 8 on the play clock. Here's Michigan with a run that gains 5 yards, because of course it does. Badger, come here.
I'm losing my mind with you, dog.
I'm
losing my mind with you.
So here's what happens with Badger. Badger gets it in his head that he wants to play with Jesse, and Jesse doesn't want to play with Badger. And so Badger sits in front of Jesse and just starts yelping and whining and crying, and then being all sad puppy and barking because he wants people to pay attention to him.
Well, the worst part is I'm playing with him.
Well, there's the long play. I mean, it wouldn't be a USC game without a broken tackle on the left leading to a long touchdown. So that's right. That's typical. That is what we expect. That is why we never say the game is over. Because why would we? Oh, Nicholson is so close. Yeah. And that was who was that?
At least, this is
Christian Pierce.
Extremely splitting hairs, but at least that one wasn't a breakdown.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a terrible angle and a missed tackle, effectively.
Right. I'm just saying the coverage wasn't the issue.
Well, they don't get the 2-point conversion. Yeah. The coverage wasn't broken coverage. It was just bad play. Badgie.
The frustrating part is that Christian Pierce has been pretty good. He ran down the guy at Illinois, etc.
Yeah. Michael, a frozen carrot? Well, sorry. I tweeted the thing that Michael said about King Miller being the Miller who was promised. And I got a reply that says, damn, Miller Moss catching strays. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I agree, everyone in the chat. Yeah, USC needs a long drive and a score. I want to say USC's been good for that, though, offensively. In terms of the long drive and score, I want to say they did it against Michigan State. Somebody else, too. Clay says going for 2 was dumb. Yeah, I'm not sure what the point there... Oh, well, okay, I know what the point there is. I'm pretty sure it's the thing that Michael will always talk about, where you go for 2 the first time because you're going to go for 2 the second time. But
I think at 17, there's no right answer.
I mean, I want it to be 10-7 instead of 11-7. Now you've created a situation where you have to go for 2 the next time, where you had a 2-possession game. I know you don't want to tie, but I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't have gone.
See, making it 9... I don't know what the benefit of 9 versus 10 is.
The only benefit of 9 versus 10 is that if you score a touchdown, then you can win it on a field goal.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't like this one. I wouldn't.
But now you've made it to where, I mean, I guess you have to go for 2 and get the field goal just to tie it.
Yeah. Yes, now just to tie it, you have to convert for 2. I guess my problem with the go for 2 the first time around, like philosophy in general, is it feels like you lock yourself into your next move instead of leaving yourself open to making that choice depending on circumstances and scenarios later on. Now, I understand that, like, the reason you go for 2 the first time is because if you're going for 2 twice, your chances of getting them are higher, but I'd take my chances on 1 2-point conversion that I choose at the end of the game because I decide that I need it then.
You also only have so many good 2-point conversion plays.
That's
you know
true.
What I mean?
Yeah. Ron from Lower Alabama asked, do you think our defensive backs have improved? Still giving up big plays. I think that the DBs are not having as catastrophic a game as they had last week. I also think that Michigan hasn't asked as many questions of them as Illinois did. And yes, it is still frustrating that USC is now 6 games into the season and still is good for a big play. Maybe not a broken play, which is, I guess, the plus side here. Yeah, and this is the problem now, is that Michigan has changed something up front because they are not giving ground the same way that they were. All right, 16 on the play clock, 2nd and 10 from the 25. Here's Mayava. Nope. A little too high for Lane. See, and this is a huge 3rd and 10. This is a huge 3rd and 10. I wonder if Lane doesn't, like, stutter past the defender there if he's able to. Yeah, Lawrence says this is why I disagree with going back to the running game. Well, it was working earlier, but yeah, you get stuffed. There's the tight end! Off! Please be down. Please be down. Down, they called it. Catch. Yeah, he pulls it. Yes, that's. Thank you.
Quiet. We're done with this. Quiet.
USC's tight ends coming in clutch. You love to see it. I'm gonna reset my stream. Yeah, his butt on the ground, and the ball doesn't come out until the defender rips it out. They're both on the ground, they're laying on the ground, and then the defender rips it out while they're already on the ground. Like it's clearly a catch. LBC Robbie says, get ready to screw on this one. You know. Clay says, the reason teams are tighter now is that everyone can buy players, not just the SEC. I do think it is noteworthy that this feels like one of the like the last couple of years since NIL really began, it has felt like the title race has been so wide open. 20 on the play clock. Motion. Is that Jackson? That's Brian Jackson. Just keep running that wide receiver screen until they figure it out. Yeah, I don't think it's coincidence that it just feels like things have tightened up a lot. Now, the flip side of that is that like Ohio State has spent as much money as anybody and made the biggest NIL moves possible defensively to just load up that defense the way they have. And so, you know, if Ohio State starts winning, you know, back-to-back-to-back national championships, we won't be talking about things being much tighter because of NIL, but like outside of the potential of an Ohio State dynasty, you know, the likes of Indiana are more viable. All of the, I mean, look at UCLA. Obviously had a terrible start to the season, but do they turn around as thoroughly as they have in the last two games, if not for a 5-star talent at quarterback that comes there over an NIL dispute, you know? So it certainly does even the playing field in a lot of ways. You know, in some ways it doesn't, because there will be the haves and the have-nots, and the have-nots will get poorer and the rich will get richer, but there will be a greater number of rich. So, like, it's like, I don't know, like the billionaires will stay billionaires, but like the upper middle, there will be more people in the upper middle class. We just won't mention that there won't be a middle class, and there will only be like upper middle class and then poor. But that is just the way it works. Scurrian says, about time for a QB keeper. Yes. We have not really seen the read option where Mayava keeps it. I mean, like, would anyone be opposed to them doing the Hassan Longstreet thing? They bring him in just to run, you know, on a drive where you need to run out the clock. Obviously, you could then get accused of being too cute, but Lawrence asks, why does USC have problems in the red zone? I mean, the turnovers don't help. The timing. Here's the snap. Mayava outside to Jaden. Nice. Keep it moving. Clay is saying Nebraska is complaining that Warren Buffett doesn't like college football. Well, I mean, Michael and I have talked about this. Like, how frustrated is Oklahoma State right now? Because if T. Boone Pickens was alive during the in the NIL era, dude was all ready to buy however close to a title he could get, and then he dies, and then suddenly it's legal to buy players. Like, his timing's terrible. I guess the question is, who's going to get Jeff Bezos to get into college football first? Second and 5, 13 on the play clock. USC is draining this down. Here's a handoff to Brian Jackson, who's looked pretty good. Just short of the first down. Reminder for everyone not to comment in the chat what is happening in the game until after I have seen it. I'm on a delay, others are on a delay, so just hold off on your reactions just a little bit. 10 on the play clock. There's King for the first. Yep, keep clocking it. Brian says Buffett went to Columbia. Well, then Columbia's bemoaning the fact that they don't have an FBS football program. If they have a football program at all, I don't actually know. Lauren says, good to see Richardson get a target. I think he could be a good possession receiver. Yeah, honestly, I'm a little bit surprised we don't see more of him. I do think they have made a concerted effort this year to just let the receivers be the receivers that are out there. But he's done a good job when USC's given him opportunities to catch. There's Brian Jackson! Brian Jackson touchdown! Oh, I love seeing a number 21 rumble to the end zone. What a cup. Dude wasn't dressed. Dude wasn't dressed in the first half of this game. What a comeback. What a moment. Love that. Touchdown, Trojans. And yes, now people can bring out the Chick Hearn commentary. Okay, Brian clarifies, Columbia does have a football program, but the Ivies don't allow athletic scholarships. Yeah. Well, so there you go. He's going to have to find a new Irvine with the super chat. Cheers. Touchdown Trojans. Oh, man. I mean, I don't want us to lose sight of how impressive this offensive showing has been. Michigan gave up 24 points to Oklahoma. They did give up 27 to Nebraska, but the last time they gave up 30 points was against Oregon last year, and that was the only other time outside of that they gave up 31 to Texas. So they've given up 30 points 3 times in the last 17, 18 games. This is a defense that doesn't give up 30 points that often. And there's USC with 31. And USC, I mean, okay, holding Michigan to 13. This will be their lowest scoring performance unless they score again since Oklahoma. Oklahoma has a very good defense. That was also on the road. But, I think a lot of this has to do with Michigan's own flaws offensively. I'm sure that they could point to losing their running back for a bit there. And Bryce Underwood is clearly a talented quarterback, but he's a freshman. I think his freshman mistakes really hurt them, obviously, in this game. But it's still, I would have guessed, even with freshman mistakes from Bryce Underwood, that Michigan would score more than 13 points. Even more than, like, let's say we give them a touchdown here, 20 points. I think I predicted, what did I say? I had Michigan winning, and I predicted, where am I? I predicted Michigan 28, USC 24. So obviously, although Michael predicted USC 31, Michigan 30. So if we get a wild 4 minutes and 21 seconds, Michael could be right. John says, it's not over till it's over. We need zeros on the clock. This is correct. There's a sack. That's a team sack. Someone says, Gemini says road teams won 42.8% of the time last year in the Big Ten. Same trend this year. I think it's been pretty well established that road teams, especially the ones that are traveling across multiple time zones, are finding it hard on both sides. The Iron Cats with the super chat. I'll read this in a second after Bryce Underwood throws out of bounds. My wife went into labor right after the Illinois game, so my daughter has never seen USC lose. Totally rational and appropriate reasoning to think they'll never lose again. She's obviously good luck. Congrats, the Iron Cats. This is for your daughter. And yes, your daughter maybe is the good luck charm that USC needed. I'm willing to buy into that mythology. I guess the question is, what did you name your daughter? And was it King? Yeah, I probably didn't have reason to do that yet, not last week, but, Johnny says Indiana didn't have a problem going cross country. Yeah, I mean, it's not 100%. It's not 100%. Some teams go and they're fine and some don't. I just think that in general, it is hard to travel. I don't think we can deny that at this point. That doesn't mean it's an excuse or that it buys you, that it completely lets you off the hook for not winning a game. Michigan won't want to say that, it's because they traveled. Penn State won't want to say, it's because they traveled. But I think it's just, it takes more fortitude, mental and physical, to win on the road. And I think that's when you say that, like, Indiana didn't have trouble. Well, that's because Indiana is an incredibly strong, mentally and physically, like, drilled team. I think it speaks a lot to Kurt Cignetti and what he's been able to achieve with that program so far, as much as anything, because only the really, really, really good teams don't have issues on the road. 3rd and 21, 20 in the play clock. Here's a shovel pass that is a missed tackle and a missed tackle, and he was going to get close. That's fun. Spanky says Iron Cat's named the daughter Trojanetta. It's a little bit of a mouthful. Troyana could do. How would you feminize Trojan? You feminize Tommy. Tammy Trojan? Hate that, by the way. All right, 4th and 5, 16 on the play clock. This will be game over if, really, really game over. Here's a blitz and game over. That is game. Whew. Again, we're going to go with, giving up 13 points. It's a huge response from USC's defense. I will be on the record saying I don't think it's all USC's defense. Not that I want to take any credit away, but I think that this is freshman quarterbacks sometimes. But, It's still a really impressive performance from USC in the sense of, I think that one of the things that was frustrating, it's not like Illinois didn't make mistakes last week. USC did a very poor job of pouncing on those mistakes. In this game, Michigan did make mistakes, and USC's defense pounced on them more often than not. And so you got to give defense huge credit for that. You got to give USC's offense huge credit for the running lanes they opened up, for the running backs' resilience, losing Waymo and Eli Jordan, King Miller stepping up the way he has, Brian Jackson answering the call. Makai Lemon's been great. Jacoby Lane has popped up with really important catches. The tight ends have both popped up with really important catches. I think this was a really strong team performance from all around, and it's the kind of team performance that I think is very frustrating sometimes for me because I know that USC is capable of this, and I wish I could predict it happening more often than it does. If I had a little bit more faith in this team, I would be ready to predict this kind of performance more often, but it's too often unpredictable, and that's the difference between USC being where they're at now and taking that next step, is finding that level of consistency and being able to replicate this, particularly being able to replicate this on the road. That doesn't mean that USC will beat Notre Dame or Oregon on the road if they replicate this performance, but it'll be a lot more possible if they do what they did in this game in terms of being opportunistic, in terms of, offensively imposing their will, certainly on the ground. And, I think that this was just probably one of the better all-around performances that USC has had against actual opposition in a while. There's a big drop. You're just killing clock at this point. It kind of doesn't matter. Our friend said, thanks for shitting on Michigan, signed a bitter Ohio State fan. Yeah. I'm sure Ohio State fans are very happy right now. Got a good win against Illinois today. They took advantages of Illinois' turnovers. The only other person who's going to be a little bit sad is my husband, whose Cubbies are not looking too good right now. Final out.
Death taxes. The Cubs can't hit for shit in October.
Well, the one run they got was that second inning. Yeah. Right there, 19:32 on the play clock. Or just run it again with King. I would love a big King run here. Yeah. Sunbun says this is the happiest I've seen Lincoln in a while. Yeah, he does. It's felt like he's been having fun. I've been having fun. Shit. Iliam says, we were going to fan rule to be lost. I saw the broad conversations from every direction I looked of people talking about this being the most important game of his tenure. And I didn't disagree. It felt like this was going to be a turning point kind of game, the kind of game that a win would justify the process a little bit more. It would open up the door for us to say, okay, trust the process. And a loss would just reinforce what USC is and isn't. And I think the performance today has been really encouraging and very very much a boost, I think, to the hopes for this team. Now, the problem is, if you told me USC could win a tough game at home, I would tell you, yeah. I think we already knew that. It's the road games that the real test has to come to, and I think that's the Notre Dame coming up is going to be the next biggest game in the Lincoln Riley tenure. Not even that USC has to win that game. Mostly USC has to be in that game. Yeah. The link to the Rotometer is in the chat, by the way, if you guys wanted to give your immediate post-game thoughts, Rotometer-wise. Mark says... Evan says, home team has won all 5 games in the series. Yeah, home field advantage matters. Mark says, very little penalties in this game. Yeah, shockingly, USC wasn't very heavily penalized. Refs are going to be weird. Andrew says 2016 vibes. I mean, I would love that. Love that. Irvine says, I feel better than last game. The Iron Cats, as long as we keep these recruits, and there were a lot there tonight. Yeah, it's a big recruiting weekend. Big for USC to keep the recruiting class intact. Nick asked, best USC offense since Barkley, Lee, and Woods. I mean, let's also not forget that Caleb Williams, did his thing in 2022. I think maybe a little bit getting ahead of ourselves. Like that 2022 team had Caleb Williams and Jordan Addison and Travis Dye. Like that was a pretty damn good offense. But this is definitely up there with one of the better ones since then. Ilium, I agree on the person you're discussing. Jason says, this is the win of the Lincoln Riley era and the best the defense has looked. Hope this portends good things for the future. Yeah, I think that it's hard, and this has been an issue for Riley. It's hard to find too many great wins for his teams, and this definitely goes down as a pretty big one. Yeah. If nothing else, like it's not even just that USC beat Michigan. It's the way that they did it. It's the way that, frankly, USC wins this game by double digits, and it feels like the offense could have put up 40 on this defense. They really could have. If not for a couple turnovers. USC looked and has looked like the better team the entire game. So I think that even more than anything else, like I think that was part of it. Here's a handoff and a stop in near the backfield. Nick says, that was the Caleb show. This offense is better all around. That's fair. I think that Mayava, and this has been such a point of like contention about the Mayava versus Caleb thing. I will not say that Mayava is a better quarterback than Caleb. What I will say is that I think Mayava runs this offense as Lincoln Riley intends it to be run more capably than Caleb did, in the sense that, like, you're right, Caleb was that offense and he was doing crazy shit all the time and it worked. But in terms of like the functionality, Bishop, there he goes. That was an even worse pass. Davis Warren should not be playing football. I even forgot what I was saying. But so it feels like Mayava functionally seems to operate the offense more stably, as opposed to like feast or famine, kind of was what sometimes it felt like with Caleb. Evan says, good game, great atmosphere for recruiting. Lots of recruits at the game. Yeah, for sure. Iliam says, Caleb was the best USC quarterback I've seen, and I was at every Palmer and Leinart home game. Caleb is the best quarterback I've ever seen at college. That's a USC win. 31-13. Trojans moved to 5-1. That's a ranked win. Bit of a signature win on the season and a really good momentum builder going forward. I mean, we said that USC needed to find a way to split the Michigan, Notre Dame, and Oregon games, and whether it was 1-2 or 2-1, they've gotten the first hurdle out of the way now, and now they're in a position to, go give Notre Dame a game. Don't be deceived. We talk sometimes about these games like they're mountains that USC can't possibly climb, but Notre Dame is a beatable team. We've seen that already this season. That game for me comes down to, can USC replicate this on the road? I'm not sure they can, but they've certainly given us a blueprint and given us a standard that they'll try to repeat for the rest of the season. It's good to have fun watching USC play a ranked team, isn't it? Isn't it? Sorry to all the Cubs fans out there. I'm sorry. Your night was less fun, but all right. Michael and I are going to go get ready for the CarCast. Michael, do we have a time for the CarCast?
8:15.
8:15. So we got about 20 minutes, and we will be back for more talk about this game, for more talk about this win.